This might shock you. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it rattles something deep inside. But if you're seeing this video, it's not by accident. This is a cosmic message straight to you. Chosen one, listen carefully. They begged a witch doctor to stop you, too late. Sounds wild, right? Like something out of an old folktale. But this is your reality. What they tried to do in the shadows, in secrecy, has already backfired. Because you are no ordinary person. You're not built like the masses. Every day people walk past each other, oblivious to the unseen energies flowing around them. They talk about bad vibes, energy vampires, or spiritual attacks without truly understanding them. But you've always felt it deeper. You've noticed how your energy shifts a room. How certain people feel uneasy in your presence. How sometimes random misfortunes seem to follow you, but deep down, you knew it wasn't random at all. This is connected to that. Before we dive in, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and comment 77 below to send a signal to the universe that you're ready for full activation. Play this video on repeat to amplify its power and soak in every ounce of energy coming through. Remember, if you're truly a chosen one, you'll watch till the end. If not, it's likely you won't even make it halfway. Now, let's expose what they tried and why it's already too late. Chapter 1: The Desperation in the Shadows. There came a moment, a defining shift, where your rise became undeniable. It wasn't just a subtle glow-up. It was a full-on soul ignition. The kind of rise that can't be hidden, no matter how much they tried to dim your light. No matter how much they gossiped, whispered behind closed doors, or tried to rally others against you, their efforts collapsed. Every attempt at silent sabotage disintegrated before it could even reach you. Because while they were busy plotting, you were evolving. Quietly. Steadily. Powerfully. You weren't screaming for attention. You were aligning. You were healing. You were becoming the version of yourself they feared you would. And behind the scenes? Oh, they were panicking. Their casual slander wasn't working anymore. The little mind games, the exclusion tactics, the fake smiles covering venomous intentions, all of it was useless. You were slipping right through their fingers. See, these people operate from a place of deep-rooted fear. A scarcity mindset that whispers lies of control. They don't understand things like inner work, energetic alignment, divine timing. To them, power is about domination, manipulation, keeping others beneath them. So, when their childish gossip failed, when their smear campaigns fell flat, they turned to the last weapon they could think of, spiritual interference. That's when they crossed the line. That's when they sought out the witch doctor. Now, erase the Hollywood images. This wasn't a caricature with feathers and bones dancing around a fire. This was a calculated move. They sought out a practitioner of ancient energy work. Someone who knows the hidden currents of the unseen. These practitioners can be healers, guides, protectors. But in the wrong hands, they become mercenaries for spiritual warfare. Their desperation oozed through every request. They begged for you to be stopped, for your path to be blocked. They paid for rituals designed to confuse you, to drain you, to chain you in invisible bonds of stagnation. Curses were whispered over your name. Entities were summoned to disturb your peace. Spiritual attacks were crafted with precision, hoping to infiltrate your aura, hoping to dismantle your momentum. But here's the truth they never anticipated. You are already spiritually armored. Long before they even uttered your name in those dark spaces, you had been building your fortress. Every meditation, every inner shadow faced, every ancestral wound healed had layered you with protection they couldn't comprehend. Your aura became impenetrable. Your vibration rose to frequencies where their low-level attacks couldn't even touch you. What they tried to summon couldn't even latch onto your energy field, because you are untouchable to that kind of interference. You've been initiated through your own trials, not by external validation, but by internal mastery. While they played in the shallow pools of manipulation, you were swimming in the oceans of transcendence. This is what they failed to grasp when you've transmuted pain into power, when you've faced your darkest nights and alchemized them into light. No external force has the authority to stop you. Their last-ditch effort was doomed from the start, because you're not operating in their dimension anymore. And now, it's too late. Chapter 2, the moment their spells collapsed. The moment they lit those candles, the moment they whispered your name with venom dripping from their tongues, the universe was already flipping the script. Every malicious intention, every shadowy ritual, every drop of envy they tried to amplify, it was all destined to backfire before it ever left the ground. What they summoned with darkness became their own undoing. What they failed to grasp is that intent is a double-edged sword. Energy doesn't move aimlessly, it is intelligent. It is karmic. It flows, it cycles, it multiplies. And ultimately, it returns. You cannot pour out destruction, curses, or manipulation and not be prepared to sip from the cup you filled. That is the law. Universal. Unchanging. Unforgiving. Especially to those arrogant enough to think they're immune to it. Their so-called spells collapsed the very moment they were cast. The second they believed they had power over you was the same second they triggered the mechanism of their own downfall. Because while they were focused on conjuring chaos, they overlooked the truth: you are already fortified. Not only by the spiritual work you've done, the healing, the alignment, the inner evolution, but also by something much bigger than them. Ancestral guardians stand watch over you. Bound by sacred covenants that transcend time, space, and logic. Divine forces, not swayed by fear or tricks, stand in orbit around your soul's mission. Cosmic energies, celestial alignments, encoded frequencies have been orchestrating your rise long before your name ever passed their lips. They were playing checkers on a board you mastered lifetimes ago. Every curse they attempted to send, every ritual they performed with your name scribbled in desperation, only served as a trigger, a divine activation point for your evolution. The more they pushed, the more you expanded. The more they struck, the more your armor strengthened. Their interference became your curriculum, a resistance workout for your soul. And unknowingly, they became your trainers, sharpening you into someone they could never defeat. The universe, in its brilliance, used their attacks as alchemy. What they meant for destruction became your foundation. Their darkness became your discipline. Their energy became the weight you carried and lifted until you became unshakable. And here's the part they could never see, the part they still don't understand. You didn't flinch. From their limited, ego-bound view, your silence was weakness. Your stillness was defeat. Because you didn't react the way they hoped, panicked, erratic, paranoid, they assumed their efforts were working. They mistook your spiritual calm for being unaware. But while they were watching the surface, you were being transformed beneath it. Behind the veil, in the unseen realms where real power moves, you were being upgraded. Every spell they cast turned to compost. Every curse they uttered became fertile soil. Every intention they shot like an arrow broke against the shield of your vibration and returned as divine momentum. What they sent to bury you only watered the seeds of your next level. That's the secret of being a chosen one. You don't fight back in the ways they expect. You don't meet chaos with more chaos. You don't crawl into the trenches to wrestle with the desperate. You don't perform for attention or validation. Your response isn't noise, it's movement. Your rise is the rebuttal. Your stillness is the proof. Your peace is your weapon. And your consistent success is the spellbreaker they never anticipated. By the time they realized none of it worked, none of it touched you, it was already too late. The energy had reversed. The pendulum had swung back, powered by every failed ritual, every backfired intention, every ounce of misused will. And now they're drowning in the very chaos they summoned. It has no home in your field, so it returns to theirs. The storm they conjured? Now theirs to endure. And you? You're rising. Effortlessly. Elegantly. Unstoppably. Untouched. Unbothered. Unbreakable. Because the true power was never in their hands. It's always been in yours. And now the world is watching you ascend. Chapter 3. The unseen forces that guard you. What they didn't account for, what they never even considered, was the army standing behind you. Not a physical army. Not a noisy, boastful display of brute strength. But an ancient, silent, and immovable force that has been walking with you across lifetimes. These are your spiritual allies. Ancestors. Guides. Protectors. Energetic sentinels woven into the very fabric of your soul's blueprint. Beings of light and wisdom who have stood by your side since the beginning, long before this incarnation, and long after this chapter ends. While they tried to calculate your downfall in the physical realm, they ignored the unseen guardians who had already mapped out your protection plan. These forces don't need spells, attention, or acknowledgement to be effective. Their presence is encoded into your destiny. They are part of your soul contract. They don't follow man-made time, they follow cosmic design. You may have walked this earth feeling isolated at times. Misunderstood. Misplaced. Like no one truly saw you, heard you, or recognized the depth of who you are. But the truth is, you were never walking alone. With every step you took, your unseen counsel has encircled you. They've been shielding your essence, fortifying your field, whispering divine instructions through your intuition, guiding you to dodge bullets you never saw, closing doors that weren't meant for you, and lighting invisible paths through the darkest terrain. Every attack they launched, whether through words, intentions, rituals, curses, or energetic interference, was intercepted long before it could ever reach your core. Like warriors cloaked in light, your guardians absorbed the shockwaves, neutralized the poison, and transmuted the dark energy into nothing but a distant, harmless echo. They didn't just block the energy, they alchemized it. What was meant to weaken you became strength. What was intended to confuse you became clarity. And the energy? Returned home to sender, amplified and unfiltered. You may have felt the tremors, sudden fatigue, eerie dreams, emotional turbulence that made no sense. But those weren't signs that you were being defeated. Those were spiritual indicators. Markers of unseen battles. Alerts that something was moving through the ether, and your name was being spoken in spaces it shouldn't be, but was being defended with divine force. And yet, through it all, you remained upright. Not just standing, not just enduring, but evolving. Sharper, clearer, more focused, more intuitive, more attuned to your purpose than you've ever been. Every dark push made you brighter. Every attempt to silence you made you louder without raising your voice. Because here's a universal truth they never understood. Every time someone tries to harm a chosen one, they trigger an ancient law, the law of divine protection. This isn't superstition. This isn't fantasy. This is cosmic structure. a spiritual security system that activates automatically when malice targets the mission. It cannot be bypassed. It cannot be deactivated. And it absolutely cannot be undone. The moment they targeted you with darkness, the moment their hearts burnt an intention of harm, the universe began recalibrating. Not for your punishment, for theirs. To correct the imbalance. To restore the scale. And that's when they lost control of the outcome. That's when their actions became a problem for them, not for you. They tried to tamper with that law. Big mistake. Because the spiritual forces that guard you don't act from ego. They are not emotional. They don't retaliate for drama. They move only when balance must be restored. And when that balance is disrupted through deception, envy, or spiritual manipulation, their correction is swift. Strategic. Absolute. That is why their witch doctor failed. Not because the incantation was off. Not because they didn't burn the right herbs. Not because their ritual lacked theatrics. But because their intent was flawed. Their hearts were dark. Their motives impure. Their energy misaligned with truth, and thus incompatible with lasting impact. The moment they invoked your name with ill intent, they triggered a divine counterforce far beyond their understanding. Your protection isn't panicked. It isn't emotional. It's not reactive. It's encoded, rooted in the very laws that govern the stars. A cosmic principle that predates every spellbook, every ritual, every attempt to manipulate reality for selfish gain. From the moment they thought of harming you, the outcome was already written. And it wasn't in their favor. Chosen one, your guardians are not bound by clocks, geography, or circumstance. They're timeless, patient, unshakable. They don't move with drama. They move with precision. And their loyalty to your mission is unbreakable. That is why, no matter how strategic the plot, no matter how much energy they poured into stopping you, no matter how deeply they believed their power was real, they were always destined to fail. Because you were never exposed. You were never unprotected. You were never alone. And you never will be. Chapter 4, The Reversal of Power. The energy they tried to weaponize against you has already begun reversing. Picture it clearly, a tidal wave swelling with every ill-intentioned thought, every whispered curse, every desperate ritual they hurled toward your path. They believed they were creating a force powerful enough to crash down on you, to derail your mission, to shatter your peace, to silence your light once and for all. But what they didn't realize, what they refused to understand, is that energy rooted in envy, fear, bitterness, and desperation is inherently flawed. It's corrupted at the core. It lacks structure. It lacks direction. It cannot hold its form. It is unstable, chaotic, and weak in the presence of purity. Energy of that nature lacks the divine intelligence needed to sustain impact. It can never endure. Instead of striking you, it collapses under the weight of its own distortion. And when that collapse occurs, there's only one direction it can go, back to the sender. This is the boomerang effect in its rawest, most powerful form. Now, the very forces they tried to summon against you are turning on them. The dark entities they attempted to sic on your energy field find no resonance, no fear to feed on, no weakness to exploit, so they spiral backward, confused and redirected. And where do they land? Back home. Right where they were conjured. The rituals they performed? They're unraveling rapidly, not in your space, but in theirs. The symbols they etched, the incantations they whispered, the twisted intentions they set under the moon, all collapsing into spiritual debris in their own environment. And the fallout is undeniable. Relationships they once relied on are crumbling. Trust is dissolving. Bonds they thought were secure are now riddled with mistrust, paranoia, and silence. Their health, once taken for granted, is deteriorating. Headaches, chronic fatigue, strange ailments that doctors can't quite explain, these are symptoms of their own energy turning inward. The toxicity they sent out is now circulating through their own nervous system. Opportunities are vanishing before their eyes. The very doors they tried to slam shut on you are now sealed against them. Emails go unanswered. Invitations dry up. Everything they tried to block in your life has now been blocked in theirs tenfold. And the isolation they tried to cast over you? That's their new reality now. But more intense, more echoing, more hollow. They're now sitting in the very emptiness they hoped would consume you. Meanwhile, you remain untouched. In fact, you're not just surviving, you're glowing. Your energy has never been clearer. Your mind has never been sharper. Your path has never felt more aligned. Everything they sent was converted into a purification process. You walked through the fire and came out refined, not reduced. Sharper, stronger, more magnetic, more divine. And here's what they could never grasp: this isn't about gloating. This isn't about revenge. This is about universal law. The sacred law of cause and effect. What you send out into the universe always returns, but it returns multiplied. Their intentions to dim your light only illuminated their own shadows. Their attempts to suppress your power only revealed how empty theirs truly is. The reversal didn't come from your retaliation, it came from the divine balance correcting itself. This reversal is your reminder. No external force, no matter how malicious, how coordinated, or how well-funded, can override the power of someone walking in divine alignment. You are a living embodiment of spiritual immunity. Not because you fought back dirty, not because you retaliated, but because you kept your frequency too high for their attacks to penetrate. You did the inner work. You showed up in truth. You became untouchable by stepping into your authentic power. Every single trap they laid for you has now become a stepping stone. Every setback they plotted, it's now a setup for your next level. Every insult, every hex, every attempt to break your spirit has been absorbed and transformed into your foundation. They thought they were blocking your path, but they were unknowingly building it. And now, the reversal is inevitable. It's not a maybe. It's not a hope. It's law. They're forced to sit in the energy they created. While you rise higher, lighter, freer. Chosen one, don't confuse this with surface-level karma. This is cosmic equilibrium. This is the divine correcting the scales. This is a sacred balancing act you didn't even have to participate in. It simply happened because you stayed in integrity. And because you chose elevation over ego, peace over performance, and grace over vengeance, you've activated a level of spiritual favor that cannot be measured. One they can't even comprehend. Their reversal is no longer your concern. Your rise is. And it's happening right now. Chapter 5. Responding to their defeat with grace. Now that their efforts have failed, a new chapter unfolds before you. A chapter not built on conflict or retaliation, but on something far more powerful, far more transformational: grace. You see, chosen one, true power isn't proven through revenge. It's not found in pettiness, retaliation, or reacting to provocation. True power is silent, grounded, and unwavering. It's not about clapping back or lowering yourself to meet the frequency of those who tried to pull you down into the dirt. No, the loudest response you can ever give is your silent elevation. The most deafening clapback is your continued success. Your peace. your radiance, your refusal to even acknowledge their chaos. This is where you rise above the noise. This is where you float above the battlefield they tried to drag you into. While they scramble to recover, while they panic over the failure of their schemes, you'll keep ascending. You'll do it with elegance, with serenity, with a calm so disarming that even their envy grows tired of chasing you. They'll be stuck playing games you no longer participate in, whispering about a war you never agreed to fight. And the beauty of it? They'll watch it all unfold. They'll watch in disbelief as doors swing open for you, the doors they swore they sealed shut. They'll witness opportunities gravitate toward you like destiny reclaiming its place. They'll see your influence stretch beyond their comprehension. Your peace will deepen. Your joy will expand. Your blessings will multiply so effortlessly, so consistently, that they'll begin to question every lie they ever told themselves about you. And in those quiet, humbling moments where they sit in the stillness of their own regret, they'll realize the bitter truth. It's too late. They begged a witch doctor to stop you. They lit candles with your name in their mouth. They tried spells, gossip, slander, silent sabotage. But what they never understood, what their minds couldn't comprehend, was that the universe had already signed off on your rise. Your elevation was never optional. It was ordained. No spell, no curse, no smear campaign. No human interference has the authority to override what has been divinely decreed. This is why your response matters. Your task now is not to swing back. It's to keep rising. Keep protecting your energy like the sacred treasure it is. Keep choosing alignment over argument, peace over performance, destiny over distraction. Keep walking in tune with your higher self, your soul mission, and the divine plan that's always been bigger than their opinions. Their noise? It's irrelevant now. Their desperation? Not your concern. Their consequences? That's theirs to hold. Let them face the energy they conjured. Let them wrestle with the chaos they brewed. Let them walk through the very fire they tried to throw you into. While you'll be preparing for realms they cannot even imagine. Realms of abundance, of spiritual expansion, of influence they can't even conceptualize. They tried to clip your wings, and instead, they launched your flight. Your focus now is on building, healing, expanding, on creating a life so full of purpose that their shadows can't even find you. Because here's the deeper truth, chosen one. This recent attack? It wasn't a setback. It was a spotlight, a divine confirmation, an energetic alert from the universe saying, you are exactly where you're meant to be. That your light is blinding. That your growth is disruptive. That your presence alone breaks illusions. You are the mirror that made their masks shatter. And yet, you never needed to fight dirty. You never had to scream to be heard. You didn't have to beg to be seen. You simply kept being you. And now, your energy is louder than their words ever were. Your stillness is more powerful than their shouting. Your silence is more commanding than their threats. This is what mastery looks like. Unstoppable. Unbothered. Unshaken. Because when you walk with divine alignment, when your movement flows from authentic purpose, not ego, no external force can touch you. Grace isn't weakness. It's power purified. It's fire made calm. It's the crown you wear without asking for applause. And you, chosen one, are the embodiment of that grace. You are not just rising. You are reigning. A living masterclass in how to win without saying a word. Chapter 6, The Unmasking, When Truth Exposes Their Schemes. Chosen one, you've probably noticed it already, the subtle yet undeniable shift in energy. The atmosphere feels different. The air around you carries a quiet tension, like a storm that's already passed but left everything forever changed. Something invisible, yet unmistakable, is at play. The masks are slipping. The ones who once smiled so effortlessly in your face while sharpening knives behind your back are now stumbling to keep up the act. Their performances are faltering. Their facades are cracking. Their illusions are unraveling. One by one, piece by piece, they're being exposed, not by your hand, but by their own frequency turning against them. But let me be clear, this isn't random. This isn't luck. This isn't just a string of odd coincidences or a lucky break in your favor. This is divine timing in action. See, when their spiritual attacks failed, when their whispered curses disintegrated before they could even graze your aura, when the witch doctor's incantations collapsed under the weight of your protection, something even bigger began to ignite behind the scenes. Truth started leaking through the cracks they thought were sealed. The universe has a poetic, ruthless sense of balance. It will never allow darkness to thrive unchecked, not in your field, and certainly not for long. What they tried to bury beneath manipulation, silence, deception, and delay, it's all being excavated now with surgical precision. Conversations you were never supposed to hear are arriving at your feet. Secrets are being exposed through slips of the tongue, through accidental confessions, through random moments that feel divinely timed. Coincidences are aligning like puzzle pieces. The right people are saying the right things at the right time, and the truth is revealing itself relentlessly. Even their energy can't hide anymore. Their body language has shifted. Eyes that once held performative admiration now avoid your gaze with guilt and discomfort. Smiles that once felt warm now feel thin, forced, and shaky. Their voices falter. Their words are rehearsed but unravel in real time. The tension in the room becomes palpable when you walk in, not because you changed, but because your presence now activates their exposure. Their frequency is collapsing under the weight of what they've tried to hide, and they feel it. But why is this happening? Because your vibration, chosen one, has risen beyond the threshold of illusion. You are no longer a match for deception, drama, gossip, or manipulation. Your field has become a sacred filter, a purifier. It demands authenticity in every space you occupy. It strips away anything that cannot vibrate at your level. Anything artificial, anything dishonest, cannot breathe in your presence anymore. Your light has become a spiritual spotlight, exposing what has been lurking in the corners without you even trying. You don't seek vengeance. You don't go looking for secrets. But your energy walks into a room and truth reveals itself. They aren't uncomfortable around you because you've changed. They're uncomfortable because their masks no longer work in your presence. Their tricks fail to land. Their old methods fall flat. And worse, for them, they know it. They feel it. They can't stop it. And here's the most satisfying truth: you don't need to lift a finger. You don't have to speak a single word. You don't have to confront them. You don't need to defend yourself or correct the record. You don't need to post receipts or drop cryptic hints. Their own energy is doing the work for you. Their contradictions, their fear, their silence, their tension, their unraveling is a product of their own misalignment, and it's happening in real time. The more you focus on your elevation, the more their deception crumbles under the pressure of your truth. This is not revenge. This is not punishment. This is universal law. Cosmic order. Divine cause and effect. Every false narrative they built around you is collapsing under its own weight. Every illusion they projected is dissolving. And those who once doubted you, those who were swayed by gossip or looked at you through lenses of confusion, they're beginning to see with new eyes. Clearer eyes. Truthful eyes. The illusion is shattered. And what of the witch doctor? Powerless. Completely irrelevant now. Because they never understood one of the most absolute truths in the universe. Truth has its own momentum. Once it starts moving, it doesn't stop. It doesn't wait. It doesn't ask for permission. It bulldozes illusions like thunder rolling through the mountains. It may take time, but when it arrives, nothing can block it. Not silence. Not rituals. Not manipulation. Not fear. And your role, chosen one, is beautifully simple. Stay anchored. Stay grounded in your knowing. Stand firm in your truth. Let your stillness be your sword. Witness the unmasking with the calm confidence of someone who already saw this moment coming. Their exposure isn't for your pride. It's not for entertainment. It's not about proving anything. It's for your preparation. The universe is clearing your field not to humiliate them, but to make room for what's next. This isn't vengeance. This is renovation. And what's coming for you requires purity, requires truth, requires a vibration uncluttered by deception. This unmasking is the necessary purge. Let it happen. Let them reveal themselves. Let them stumble over their own lies. Let them walk face first into the mirrors they've avoided their entire lives. For you, chosen one, the message is crystalline and irreversible. It's too late for them to hide. Chapter 7, the cosmic reward for surviving their storm. Now, here's where the story flips entirely in your favor. You didn't just survive their attacks, you transcended them. You rose above them like a phoenix through the smoke, ash, and every attempt they made to bury your brilliance. Every hex, every plan, every whispered intention to dim your light only added fuel to the fire that burst your rebirth. And in doing so, you've unlocked a level of spiritual credit that cannot be denied, revoked, diluted, or delayed. It's already etched into your timeline, part of the divine sequence unfolding for you. Chosen one, the universe owes you. Not because you begged for favor, not because you stooped to their level or pleaded for fairness, but because you remained in alignment. You held your frequency steady while they hurled chaos at your doorstep. You kept your crown secured while they flailed in the mud, hoping to lure you into battles beneath your vibration. You didn't grab the weapons they used, pettiness, manipulation, backdoor spells, or energetic attacks. Instead, you reached for something higher. You chose your higher self. You chose clarity. You chose elevation over retaliation. And that choice rewrote everything. And now, the reward phase begins. Not later. Not someday. Not when you earn it. Now. Expect the miraculous. Expect sudden breakthroughs. Expect floods of blessings to show up in wild, unexplainable ways. Financial favor that evaporates stress like morning fog. Soul-aligned connections that feel divinely orchestrated. Golden opportunities dropped in your path with such precision that you'll feel the hand of the divine moving directly in your life. These aren't accidents. These aren't coincidences. These are cosmic compensations, gifts from the universe sent in response to your discipline, your restraint, your integrity in the fire. Every unseen battle you endured with grace has been noted. Every time you chose stillness over spite, every moment you stayed grounded while storms raged around you, every internal victory the world didn't witness, the universe did. And now the debt is being paid with interest. The energy they sent to harm you, alchemized into streams of abundance. The curses they whispered behind closed doors, transformed into living protection spells that now orbit your field. The rituals meant to obstruct your path, converted into divine accelerators, catapulting you into your calling. This isn't revenge. This isn't cruelty. This is balance. This is the boomerang effect operating at its highest, most sacred setting. It's not about emotional payback. It's about correction. Divine justice doesn't shout. It doesn't make a scene. It simply arrives. Quietly. Powerfully. Right on time. But beyond all the external rewards, beyond the success, the recognition, the abundance, and alignment, there is a reward even greater being handed to you now. Unshakable sovereignty. You've proven something eternal, not just to others, but to yourself. You've shown that no external force, no spell, no slander, no spiritual attack has the authority to override your divine assignment. You've reclaimed authorship of your life. You've stepped into the role of the architect, the visionary, the soul that doesn't just survive storms, but emerges from them wiser, brighter, transformed. And that kind of knowing? It's priceless. It rewires your entire being. It changes the way you move, the way you speak, the way you enter a room. Your presence begins to carry weight. Your aura becomes your armor. Your vibration becomes law. People feel something when you walk in, even if they don't understand why. And here's the most poetic twist of all. While they're scrambling, trying to undo the very chaos they summoned, you're soaring. They're putting out fires they lit with their own hands, fires they believed would consume you. But you become the wildfire they can't outrun, the force of divine purpose they cannot put out. You are what happens when a soul refuses to break and chooses ascension instead. Their obsession with stopping you has only done one thing. It activated your rise. It unlocked your inheritance. It announced your arrival to the universe. Every ritual they performed in the shadows, a brick in the palace you're now building. Every ill-intentioned whisper, wind beneath your wings, carrying you higher than they ever dared to imagine. Chosen one, you are not unstoppable because of ego. You are unstoppable because of alignment. Because you move with divine timing. Because your energy is clean. Because you've been refined through truth and protected by forces beyond this realm. Their witch doctor was never your obstacle. Their spells were never the real threat. Because the only true power has always lived within you. Your soul contract. Your mission. Your sacred timeline written in codes they'll never decode. And now, it's too late. Too late to cancel your rise. Too late to block your path. Too late to rewrite your prophecy. The universe has already spoken. Loud. Clear. Unapologetic. The reward is already in motion. The path has opened. The doors they tried to seal shut, blown off the hinges. Rise, chosen one. Not tomorrow. Not when it's safe. Not when they approve. Now. It's your time. Chosen one, remember this, they begged a witch doctor to stop you, but it was already too late. Their attacks became your acceleration. Their schemes only confirmed your greatness. You were never fighting for survival. You were being refined for greatness. So now, walk boldly, with your head high and your energy untouchable. They failed. You rose. And the best part? You're just getting started. If you're truly a chosen one, like this video, subscribe and comment 77 to send your signal to the universe. Replay this message. Soak in the energy. Amplify your frequency. And if you stayed till the end, you've already proven you're different. Chosen one, your time is now.